sitting there alone, looking lovely and so lost in a world all your own. Are you wondering?
Hi, I'm Nevaer.
And I'm Clifton. Tell us, Louis, how did you come upon this story?
It's long been known in the Spanish-speaking world that Fidel Castro fell in love with a Mexican schoolteacher when he was exiled to Mexico in 1955. There are countless newspaper stories and even television interviews with her, Lia Cámara. She is still alive and lives on the Yucatan Peninsula. And I know her because we're practically neighbors. She lives a 15-minute stroll from my house.
Well, not only did she tell you about it, you wrote a play about it. And when I read it, the story was so compelling, I thought, well, it just had to be a musical. I understand that Batista had Fidel locked up in prison. Now, in our show, when we first see Castro, he's being released. Tell us about that scene.
Fidel, along with his co-conspirators, is imprisoned after a failed attempt against Batista. There is, however, tremendous political pressure to grant a general amnesty to ease the unrest throughout Cuba.
Fidel plans on returning to Cuba, better organized and with men. He warns his guards that they haven't seen the last of him.
I bet you think you're clever. Now you'll be rid of me forever. Sorry to spoil your little endeavor. I'll be back. You pitched a big no-hitter, expecting my exit, quietly bitter. What do you think I am? A quitter? I'll be back. For your plan is plainly shoddy, and I find it ill-designed.
So Fidel, exiled to Mexico, gets together with his brother Raul and scores of other would-be revolutionaries, including Che Guevara. Of course, while plotting the Cuban Revolution in Mexico City, they're kept under surveillance by Mexican intelligence agencies, Cuban government spies, and even our CIA.
All marching free through smoke and soot, in battle gear and muddy boots, and the shoe will be on the other foot. Always to victory! Yes, I'll be back to carry on, and I'll be here, and you'll be gone.
From his first day in Mexico, Fidel only wants to organize a revolution and return to Cuba. But what he does not count on is falling in love with a beautiful Mexican woman.
I can't remember such a morning, a certain something in the air. I heard a band out there parading.
Young, handsome Fidel and the lovely young Lia Cámara meet on a bus. Lia is returning home from a week of teaching in a small rural town, and he is returning from a reconnaissance trip of various ports around the Yucatan Peninsula. It's love at first sight. Of course, she has no idea who he really is or why he is in Mexico. To her, he is Alejandro Gonzalez.
Is it just another April day, or could it be my calendar is wrong?
When the bus pulls into the last stop, they exchange telephone numbers. They meet that evening, and she introduces him to her parents.
Was a very ordinary thing.
There's a picture perfect picnic on a picture perfect beach. For a picture perfect people are bound to swim and play. Come along and join the party. There is plenty sun for each. There's a picture perfect picnic on a picture perfect beach. La 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 la. Hey! La 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 la.
A key moment in Act 1 is when Leah takes Fidel's photograph on the beach. As she snaps the picture, the actors freeze, and we see Fidel as Alejandro framed in a rectangle of light, the photo captured in live tableau.
Love means always, always means forever. Forever means never to doubt or want out, never to be done, always to be one, never being two again, or just you again.
Leah's mother is not keen on her marrying a foreigner. In one of the show's lighter moments, she touts the virtues of sticking to your own kind. You can't live your life as a foreigner's wife.
A nice Mexican boy who will give you the proper devotion. Not someone who lives in an ocean, but someone who's like you and me. Never settle for some European or someone who's too Caribbean. There's plenty of fish in the sea. A nice Mexican boy, take a man from Umaruatero, who knows how to sing a ranchero, and besame mucho and well.
Then, abruptly, one day Fidel tells Leah that he loves her, but he has to do something for his country. He has to return to Cuba. He promises that he will come back for her, or if he cannot, he will send for her.
And she protests. If you can't come back for me, you will send for me? What does that mean? What does it send for me?
Months pass with no word from the man Leah loves. Then, on New Year's Eve, Leah and her parents read newspaper reports of the revolution in Cuba. They are astounded when they see photographs of the new Cuban leader, Fidel Castro. They can't believe Fidel is Alejandro.
Yes, but Leah, who was truly in love with Alejandro, doesn't care about what Fidel was up to. Leah's heart is broken as the curtain descends on Act 1.
I won't dance with anyone if I can't dance with you. I won't dance just any dance if it's not the dance you do. Some folks dance with anyone who steps out of the mood, but I won't dance with anyone if I can't dance with you. I won't dance with anyone if I can't dance with you. I won't dance with any dance if it's not the dance you do. Some folks dance with anyone, and I have heard that's true, but I won't dance with anyone if I can't dance with you. If you do the samba, I will do the samba. If you do the bamba, I will do the bamba. Samba,
Castro, his brother Raul, and Che, in their drab military outfits, burst into this festive Copacabana, New York celebration where beautiful dancing girls and revelers welcome them as heroes. The revelers get their second wind. A New Year's Eve party becomes the celebration of the Cuban Revolution.
I wanna do it. I wanna do it. I wanna do it too. I wanna do it. I wanna do it. I wanna do it with you.
Her parents are not happy about any of this. Her father is sure that no good will come of her leaving home to marry Fidel Castro.
She's still my little girl. How can I let her go? How can I not care? How can beside her. Who'll tell my little girl that she'd better know? Who will dry her tears just as I have through the years?
Love you? How could I not love you? No way, even if I tried. Somehow there's no getting round you. Now that I've found you, want you? How could I not want you? Always right here by my side. Tell you, what more could I tell you? Nothing my heart could ever hide.
Love you.
There's no way I couldn't love you.
No way, even if I tried.
There's just no way around you now. I found you.
Want you.
There's no
We plan on a through-composed piece with this. That is, there will be music throughout. Then, late in the second act, there's an emotional confrontation between Leah and Fidel. They have a bitter argument. And in order to highlight that, suddenly, the music goes silent. I think this will be stunning.
Who is this man? I once took his photo at the shore. This is not the man in the picture. He's not that man anymore. That charming soul I met on the bus. I knew at the start one day we would be us. I put my trust in Alejandro, my faith in Alejandro, gave my love and all I have. Where is he now? I put my heart into his hand, but Alejandro ran away with my love. Where is he now? And does he understand? I see a man in my mind running round in my soul, fading into the mist of my thoughts, appearing, disappearing in a cloud of memories, in sudden flashes. Then my dream turned to ashes, and Alejandro is gone, but my feelings go on. Yes, Alejandro is gone, but somehow I must go on with another man I barely know. Where did Alejandro go? I loved him so. There comes a time, there comes a time when one can no longer hide, and the truth cannot be denied.
And so, in a desperate move, Leah flees Cuba, never to return. In the last scene of the show, we see her as an older woman, still holding on to the picture of her beloved Alejandro that she took that day at the beach.
Looking lovely and so lost in a world all your own. Are you wondering? Are you dreaming of a better world to be? Then come and live with me on my island in the sea.
Alejandro. Oh, Alejandro. Still there in that silly photograph. I can still hear you.
Love means always, with a million voices. Love makes all your choices, not you. When it's true, you give love your soul, you give love control, and you're torn and tossed in it, and you're lost in it.
And then one starts to wonder, and one starts to rage. Is a bird free in the sky? Our freedom!